Hey guys! So we got a new thing going over here at Dan Spiffy Newman Ceiling Fans, and I'm super excited about it. We are doing a collaboration test, demonstration, review video of the Fanimation drone with vintage fans and more. First of all, the drone is the most exciting ceiling fan to hit the market in 2017, if you ask me. I have not seen anything since the Ascension from any manufacturer that really made me go, I want that, until the drone. When I first saw the drone, which I believe was in the prep for the last Dallas lighting thing, I saw it and I was like, well, yeah, I'm getting one of those. And it's very rare that new designs make me feel that way. So I'm very excited to be testing and reviewing the drone. The second thing about this video is it's going to be a little bit more polished than my usual YouTube fan videos. There's going to be some editing, some footage spliced in, even a few little graphics, if you can call them that. That's because of it being a collaboration with, honestly, my favorite fan-related YouTuber, Cole Semenko, aka Vintage Fans and More. We're going to be testing and demonstrating and reviewing the drone together, and so you will be seeing some of his footage and mine, some of my footage and his, and the videos will be referential, and it'll be great for both of our channels and both of our viewerships. I've known Cole since he was probably at least a preteen, possibly younger. I can't remember how young he was when we first met, but he was a kid, and he was, I believe, the first fan collector to visit my organ shop, and second was Reese, and the two of them together visiting over the years inspired me to start testing fans there, which I did for several years now, and have moved into the garage now that I have that opportunity, and you'll see that in the footage here. So I'm super excited to be collaborating with Cole. He has a really great YouTube channel. He has a really great fan collection. I trust his opinion. So let's talk about the drone. It's clearly meant to compete with the Big Ass Fans Haiku, but it's not a copy of it, which is great because there's a lot of things I didn't like about the Haiku, and Fanimation has improved on all of them. I've never been a fan of the Haiku, pun notwithstanding. When it first came out, I'm like, okay, the efficiency is great. I don't like the look, I don't like the performance, and I don't like the price. And so it's never really been on my radar screen. I've obviously filmed a few, I've tested a few, not in my shop, but just in installations and things. And it's just never been a fan that's appealed to me for those reasons. Fanimation has addressed all of them. I think the look of the drone looks a little bit more like a fan to me, which in this case is good. Sometimes you have fans you don't want to look like a fan, like the Enigma or the Beckwith or whatever, but I've always joked that the Haiku looks like a Stingray or something just stuck to the ceiling. And I've just always thought it was an unattractive fan, even for a modern design. And the drone, on the other hand, I think is a very attractive fan. It gives me a little bit of vintageness with a little bit of a Stratojet vibe and a little bit of a Sanyo vibe, but for the most part, it's very modern, but it looks like a new cutting-edge, cool, modern design fan. Second thing is one of the complaints that I'd heard about the Haiku and then got to experience for myself is that they are noisy. They move a lot of wind noise, especially on higher speeds, which is one thing if you're, installing an industrial commercial fan in a, grocery store or something like that, laundromat, whatever. But it's another thing if you're putting it in your bedroom, which is why a lot of non-fan collectors probably don't have gold lines in their bedroom, despite how efficient they are and how much air they move. And then it's very choppy, helicoptery wind noise based on their blade design, which it's very efficient, but it's noisy. And Fanimation changed that by going to, instead of the Haiku, which has a very shallow blade pitch, Fanimation has a curved 36-degree blade pitch, which is insane. And that's something you wouldn't be able to do without a DC motor. I've talked in the past, I'm not a huge fan of DC motors, but I'm grudgingly accepting them because you can do things like that you just simply couldn't do with an AC motor. There's just so much more power in the DC motors, and they're so efficient. What I don't care for is typically they're not user serviceable, and they are not versatile in terms of wall controls and multiple installations, multiple fans on the same control and stuff like that. You're pretty much stuck with the control the fan comes with. But that's a tangent. So there's still reasons where I prefer AC motors, but if you're looking for efficiency, DC is definitely the way to go these days. And the technology is getting better and better every day, and Fanimation's 6-speed DC motor that's used in the drone is very impressive. It's a beefy little motor. If you ever look at it, it's small, but it's very heavy. You can take a look at that in some of the footage I have us unboxing it that I'll link to below. Cole and I both loved the drone even before we saw it in person, even before we tested it, and it is not disappointed in the tests. It is not disappointed in person. It's just a really great fan. So the first thing that I did is I invited the usual suspects, His Metalness, Metal Pete, and Tommy Bodden, who I don't believe has a nickname yet, but we'll have to work on that. And shout out to both of their YouTube channels, Metal Pete the Metal Fan and the Ceiling Fan page. And these guys have just been tremendous help for me working on projects, fan-related projects, testing fans, videoing fans, prepping for the museum, stuff like that. They've been coming and hanging out and helping with all of that and been great company and great fun. We've all learned a lot, so definitely go and look for the footage on all of our channels of us working together. So I didn't want to do this without them, so I invited them both over and we unboxed and assembled the drone. And I'm going to show you some just very sped up footage of that. But if you want to see that footage in real time or even sped up but not quite as fast, that's on my channel. So here's that. So what I did for the collaboration is I took samples of all the footage, mine in the shop attic, mine in the garage, and Cole's in his new awesome test space that just looks super awesome, especially for a modern fan like this, and spliced in the footage of the fan at the same speed. So you'll see speed 1 of the different installations, speed 2 of the different installations through all 6 speeds, forward and reverse. At the manual, see what I'm missing. So let me make sure it's on low. So how do you start the fan from a different speed? I guess you have to like take it to the speed you want every time. There's no way to just like start it automatically starts on high or whatever. So drawing 0.02 as let's flop into 0.03 as you will see in Tommy's footage. Now it is drawing 0.0. See, this is what I wanted for the background noise, the gentle rain like that. I think that's relaxing and soothing, and the hail was a little bit of a imposition. There's a line from Arrested Development where somebody says, I'd like to call it. Looks like it's going to climb up to high again. Nope, it goes back to low. So, hit off. Cole's footage is going to be very different than mine. I'm very much looking forward to seeing it. He's also got a different color. I won't say what color it is. Although by the time this footage comes out, everybody will have seen his anyway, so I'll tell you his is silver.
Only someone got a different color.
Yeah, well, the other person that got one, I picked out theirs because theirs was a surprise. So,
I'm sure you're ready to see it in motion, so I'm going to pop it onto low speed, and I'll talk about some of my favorite aspects of the drone. I have to say, first and foremost, the design of this fan is stunning. They knocked it completely out of the park on this one. These minimalist designs with super efficient DC motors inside have really been taking the fan industry by storm. Everybody is coming out with their own version, but Fanimation really made this one their own. There's really nothing else like it out there, and I can't help but go back to when a lot of us in the fan community used to say that we didn't like fans that looked like spaceships or UFOs. I think this fan looks space age in the best possible way. The other aspect that I'm just absolutely loving about this fan is that it has an aesthetic low speed. I've been waiting so long for a DC motor that could produce this range of speeds. I like a lot of what DC technology has to offer, but one of the hurdles that I just could not get over was how fast the low speeds always were. Those days are thankfully moving behind us, and I'm really excited to see the continued development of this technology.
An imposition. So I dropped in with that line. Maybe I'll get her to do that on some footage and say I'd like to call it an imposition. You guys need to watch the rest of the development if you haven't seen it already, and then you'll be there with the lines. Now it's at 0.03. Oh, look at Tommy's footage. It's like, oh yeah, that's about as zoomed in as I would expect. Because you still show a little bit of the test rig, but we don't have a test rig. Nope, 0.03 again. I don't know how it can draw so little. DC motors are pretty amazing. So then let's take it to like a medium. So I'm putting it about halfway there, and it's somewhere where it's drawing, just for reference sake, it's going to draw about 0.05, 0.04. And turn it off. Let it spin down. Okay, and then so if I hit low again, then what? So now it's drawing 0.04. I don't have to say that. Yeah, so it looks like it does. So who's got a calculator handy? Anybody? You got a phone, Metal Pete?
I think so.
Okay. So take 7 and divide 0.07, 0.08, 0.07, 0.06, 0.07, 0.06 is where it's settled. Nope, 0.07. I'm starting to get some air from it. How about you back there, Tommy?
Oh, yeah.
Tommy's hanging out about... Is that door affecting it?
No, I was turning the new tone off. I can't imagine that affected much, but...
You're not low.
Yeah. You talking about the door or the new tone, Tommy? Divide it by 120.
7.
Yeah.
0.0583.
Okay. So a regular incandescent night bulb draws 0.06. So Tommy was asking me how this compares to a nightlight. So so this right now is drawing about as much as an incandescent nightlight bulb. Draw 0.25, excuse me, divide 0.25 by 120.
0.25
Yeah.
0.002.
Much an LED night light bulb draws, so that's still way less than this. So this still draws considerably more D night light, but about the same, at least on this speed 5, as a regular night light bulb, which is about as much as like an LED bulb equivalent. Those are around 7, 8 watts, 9 watts, depending on the... Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting a breeze back here.
I just went up to 0.12, but I didn't hear a beep that time. I don't know why we got no beep. Now it's down to 0.09. 0.15, 16, 15, 14. Is this high? Seems a little slow for high. We'll see. No, but it wasn't high yet. So this is high. We did an airflow test video. It's solidly into the K55 category, but the way in which it moves air is a little bit it's not a steady flow of air at a distance. It's gusts, you know, and we've talked about other fans of air that way. And it's not surprising that with, you know, slow moving and very steep that's how it would be. Sitting here in the chair, I'm also getting gusts, but they're quite strong gusts. Still 84 degrees up here, and it's quite comfortable with this fan going. So if you guys want to do an airflow test again, you're welcome to. Oh, Metal Pete's actually sitting right in the airflow spot. Let's just... They're,
Yeah, and I'm like...
There they are.
It's definitely, in the K5 right here, easily.
So for those who are unfamiliar, who might be watching one of my videos for the first time, shame on you. We generally go to a point about 15 feet away from the fan and just seals to us. And while that's a very unscientific airflow test, it's proved to be pretty, surprisingly so. So, okay, let's do spin down. I'm going to hit the off button. You know something that grinds my gears, as I've heard somebody say once? That without a light, still have a light button on the remote. It's like having a light switch in a house that doesn't do anything.
I think that was Brandon C. Johnson, I think said that. He said, I don't like Intelligent fans of light, because it just seems pointless to me, which I have to agree with.
Absolutely. I like him more now. I liked him fine before, but I'd say once. Okay, it's 0.02, even though it's off, which is what it was drawing on low. So apparently, if my amp meter, which, you know, knock on wood, it's a cheap amp meter, and this is a very minute amount of current. But if the amp meter, let me turn the switch off. Yeah, can I turn the switch off? It's 0.00. Turn the switch on. Now it's 0.0. But, no, 0.02. So, this fan draws the same current on low as it draws when it's off. Just let that sink in. 0.02 is just the remote receiver is drawing just to sense signals from the remote.
So, the motor basically draws nothing on low. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, part of what's happening is that it's such a small amount of current that when both the motor and the receiver are engaged.
Spent so much time setting everything up, you know.
That's true. It did take a little while to get things set up here. Okay, well, I was going to say for you to pick out what we're going to do next, but I guess you got to take off, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, well, we did what we came for.
Exactly.
And you got some TAT industrial action there.
Yeah.
And
got some more video right here.
Oh yeah. If Tommy wants to stick around, him and I can do a couple. It's up to him.
You can pick out what we do.
Yeah. Is there anything you don't care about that we could do, you know, in your absence?
Oh.
Maybe you don't have to do it right now on camera,
Right,
since you're just gonna walk right in front of both cameras, you know.
Yeah,
You
that's
just point it out or whatever. Say
Yeah.
what it looks like.
I'll tell you though, I would like to do the little 6-bladed thing,
Yeah.
because I want to see if I'm going to end up swapping that into Abby's room. I've been waiting to do that for a while.
Is that 36 or 42 inch?
I believe it is 38. Does it say, yeah, 38 inch sweep? I think it's an 8. It's either 8 or a 6. Okay, so let's I'm going to go through all the motions again on this, because now we have the lamp meter, so, and,
You're still over there chuckling about that.
I am. I was chuckling about it long before I said it. and I held off as long as I could, but yeah, I might redo it to be a little more graceful, because right now there's all the cords and stuff, and we could actually get some black electrical tape and really make it shine. But Yeah, I think that in many ways it's some of my very finest work. Both the stand and the pun. It's very punny. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly go through the speeds again so you can see, and then we'll have droned ourselves out. So, okay, so I turned it off. So, you raise a good point. What does it start?
So now I've moved up to high speed, and it's not a super fast fan, but it really doesn't have to be with that 36-degree blade pitch. It's a very quiet fan overall, but it's moving an immense amount of air. Overall, just really impressive performance. Now is where I'm going to send you to the clips so that you can see the drone in greater detail.
I don't know if it's the do or not, but I'm hitting it twice when I go up every time, and it's only beeping once. So there seems to be 0.0 way. It was 0.02, obviously, of low. 4. I really wish I had a place to install this. It's too modern for anywhere in my house, but it's so cool. No, there'd be no good place for it. I say I could put it in my garage, but not only does it not go with the haft, the white one would go in the garage, but that's less cool. You know, this is coolest in black, in my opinion. Coolest in, well, the silver's cool. I like all the finishes. I don't know. I don't have a place for it, though, but nearly as old as the ones in the living room. So, low, I say to you. Loweth. Where's my Pepsi?
Maybe it doesn't speak English.
Is that mine or yours, Tommy?
That's yours.
Oh. So now I don't have to read the ammeter readings because you can see them. I actually think we're going to do something like this for future videos and just have this be a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the downside?
There is no downside.
Can you read the ammeter?
Yeah. You can read it on camera. So now you don't have to call it out. I mean, it's too bad you can't see the whole test rig, but at least you can see the, yeah.
Now we can see the meter.
I mean, where's the action, really? The fan. And part of the ammeter, but... Plus it doesn't have a light.
0.07. Was white, again, it would have gone great in Nia's room, but the TriStar is perfect for there. See, hey, can we call it a lamp meter?
Yeah. But
Because
I really hate you for that. But it was clever.
I'm surprised that none of you guys came up with it first, because I waited a while on that. Like, I had that one in my pocket, you know, in case somebody else wanted the really bad pun. And, 1.11. So yeah, it seems like it drawing a lot more anomaly, and given that it was happening at the same time as the hailstorm, I wonder if there was a connection.
Yeah, so it's drawing, like double that?
Yeah.
So I guess just a little fluctuation can make a big difference on this.
Maybe. I mean,
How that affects the actual motor, or
if it's just the receiver that's drawing more
Yeah.
current, or if it's actually making it to the motor. One would think it wouldn't actually make it to the motor, but
and the new tone.
the new tone is pretty cool. You can turn it back on low if you want to. It's still kind of in frame.
If you want to do it, want to be the guest?
I don't care. Well, you're closer.
Okay.
I didn't know who was closer.
I don't actually know a whole lot about how
But
the
since it's drawn, if it, or such a big difference, I wonder if it affects it negatively.
Yeah. We also don't know for sure that's what happened either. One theory, but the only way to test that would be if we had a voltmeter hooked up to the AC.
I still think I like.
Why is it not beeping?
Now it
See at that time. I suppose somebody could have ran and got, but my voltmeter's in my car, which means you have had to run in the hail, which,
Could be deadly.
yes, because being hit in the ping pong balls will kill. Yeah. Still think you like what, Tommy?
I still think I like my box fan stand better.
That was a beautiful stroke of genius. Like Rain Man. Or a beautiful mind. Tell you.
But they're not ping pong balls, they're like golf balls.
Nah, I doubted they were golf
It's
ball
like-
sized. They were probably
They're like they're six.
this kid. I'm pretty sure that was not a golf ball sized hail. Probably like as big as like a small gumball, or at the most, like a large pebble. But it's not as heavy as a rock or a golf ball. It's ice. Being hit with very small ice cubes.
Ping pong balls and golf balls are nice though.
Well, yeah, but I picked ping pong balls because they were lighter, not because of the size. It was about the velocity, the weight, not about the size.
True.
So that was my reasoning there. So I'm gonna reverse it. 0.02. I think it knows to wait until it's spun down and then engage it the other direction. It seems to know that.
It's a smart fan.
Yeah. Well, DC motors are. Here's the thing. I know what a servo motor is and how it works, and I know DC ceiling fan motor is like a servo motor. I just don't know how it's different. So a servo, like robots use, and it's a motor. Like if you think like a robot arm, and then there's a control. There's a controller with like a circuit board and a computer that tells it to turn this much to turn the robot arm this much, or those are servo motors, and that's how like machinery works in factories and stuff like that, and all these machines and like etchings and stuff like that. Anything like that, that's a servo motor. I wouldn't be surprised if there's one in printers, although I don't actually know that. It's a motor that is controlled down to the minutia of how much it moves, and control board sends signals to it, and it sends signals back to the control board in terms of how much resistance, and so that's basically what a DC ceiling fan motor is, but I'm sure there's a difference that it is. So, in other words, this motor, it's not just a matter of feeding it current. It has a control board that's telling it everything, and sending information back to the control board, hey, here's what's up. Like, for example, I'm going to try this and just see. Is it high?
Moving the chain around on the light.
Interesting. Is that? Yeah, I guess it would be the new tone, wouldn't it? So it is moving some air in reverse, even though those blades are not really shaped for it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see what happens if I reverse it while it's on high. So I'm going to hit the bright and beautiful sun.
It gives you your 0 to high right there.
It does. Although this is different because of being different. So I don't know if you're going to have time for 1 or 2 fans after this, Metal Pete. I know you'll definitely have time for 1.
It's almost 10 right
It's almost 10 right now?
Yep.
Oh, I guess maybe not, huh?
Yeah, we used
Okay, so just summing up on the drone, I love it. Cole loves it. Metal Pete loves it. Tommy loves it. As far as new modern DC motor efficient fans go, the only reason I could think of why you wouldn't go for the drone is, one, if it wasn't the look that you wanted. Maybe you like the look of the Odin or something else better. There's definitely other designs. Personally, this is my favorite of the DC modern fan designs. I just think it's cool. It looks like a fan. It doesn't look scary. I don't know how else to call it. I can't really put words on it. I just like the way it looks more so than the other DC designs that are out there. Other reason not to go for it is if you need a light. Currently, there is no light option for it. That may be something that happens in the future as they introduce different versions and different models. There might be a similar model that has a light option or a drone 2 or something like that. We'll see in the future, but as of right now, that's not a thing. Or if you needed it to mount to a vaulted ceiling. That's something that's probably not going to happen going forward because there would be no way to use a vaulted ceiling kit that didn't mess with the aesthetic of the fan. And the designers felt it was very important to maintain that design integrity. So you can get additional down rod lengths for it, but it still has to mount to a flat surface. So those are the only reasons why I personally would not recommend the drone for someone. Otherwise, it's would be my first recommendation if you were looking for a modern, efficient DC ceiling fan. I'm pretty sure that Cole will tell you the same thing over at Vintage Fans and More. I'm super excited to be doing this collaboration, so we'll definitely be doing some more of those in the future. Thanks again, Cole Samango, Vintage Fans and More, Tom Frampton, Fanimation, and then thank you for watching. See, hey, can we call it a lamp meter?
But
Because
I really hate you for that.
you suck.